Ever notice how the more you want something, the harder it is to act naturally around it? Like that last slice of pizza at a party, you stare just a little too long and shuffle your feet, maybe even pretend you don't want it, hoping no one else will take it first. That feeling, that tension between desire and fear, it's paralyzing, especially when what you desire isn't pizza, but connection with someone who catches your eye across a room. How do you cross that space? How do you open your mouth without broadcasting that frantic internal scream, "Please like me"? That's the tightrope walk, wanting to connect without looking like you need to connect, like your entire worth hinges on this one moment, this one person's reaction. It feels impossible, right? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Desperation isn't really about her. It's about you. It's about the story you're telling yourself in that moment, a story screaming scarcity. This is my only chance. If she says no, I'm worthless. I have to make this work. That story, it leaks out. It colors your voice, stiffens your posture, makes your eyes dart nervously. It broadcasts a frequency of lack. And people, they feel it. They sense the pressure, the neediness, even before you utter a word. Think about it. Who feels more magnetic? The guy radiating calm, like he has all the time in the world, or the one vibrating with anxious energy, like a phone set to silent but buzzing off the table? Let's borrow a lens from psychology, something called the scarcity principle, studied extensively by people like Robert Cialdini. It basically shows we value things more when they seem rare, limited, unavailable. Think concert tickets, limited edition sneakers, that one table at the popular restaurant. Their perceived value skyrockets precisely because they're hard to get. Now, flip that mirror onto ourselves. What happens when you present yourself as endlessly available, instantly responsive, overly eager to please? You signal abundance, too much abundance, an abundance of you, readily available, with no inherent limits. Suddenly, that perceived value, it doesn't skyrocket, it plummets. You become the readily available, maybe even slightly desperate option. The principle works inversely for the person projecting neediness. You unwittingly make yourself seem less valuable, precisely because you seem too available, too easy, too much, needing the interaction. Picture Alex. He meets Sarah at a mutual friend's gathering. They chat. It flows. He gets her number, feels great. Then, the story in his head kicks in. This never happens. She's amazing. Don't screw it up. So, he texts, "Hey Sarah, Alex from Dave's party. Had a great time chatting. Cool. Normal." Then, silence for maybe an hour. The story intensifies. She's forgotten me already. Was I boring? Gotta say something funnier. So, another text, a meme. Then, hope your day is going well. Then, maybe, saw this coffee place, thought you might like it. All within, say, 3 hours. Each text radiating louder and louder. Please acknowledge me. Please validate my existence. Sarah feels overwhelmed, pressured, maybe even a little creeped out by the intensity. She senses the scarcity, the fear, the need behind the words, the connection. It evaporates, not because Alex is a bad guy, but because his story of scarcity bled out uncontrollably. Now, imagine Alex after he understands this. He texts that first simple message, and then he closes his phone. He goes about his day, He trusts the initial connection. He assumes abundance. If it works with Sarah, great. If not, the world is full of interesting people. That internal calm, that lack of frantic need, it changes everything. When he texts again a couple of days later, "Hey Sarah, was thinking about that weird sculpture at Dave's place. How's your week going?" The vibe is light, curious, unattached. Which Alex feels more intriguing? Which one feels less desperate? The difference isn't in the words, it's in the quiet space between them. The space filled by his own sense of self-worth, not frantic need. So, how do you even start shifting this? It begins long before you see her, long before you muster the courage to walk over. It starts with confronting that internal narrative, the one whispering or shouting, scarcity. Ask yourself, brutally honestly, what story am I telling myself about my own worth? Does it vanish if one person or even 10 people say no thanks? That's the anchor point. Cultivating a sense of self, interests, passions, a life that feels full without requiring validation from a specific stranger's smile. It sounds simple, maybe even cliché, but it's the bedrock. Without it, any technique, the foundation, that internal sense of I am okay regardless, comes first. This isn't about arrogance or pretending you don't care. It's about quiet security, knowing your value isn't a limited resource needing constant external replenishment. It's realizing that your worth, your enoughness, is inherent. It exists simply because you exist. That shift, it fundamentally changes how you inhabit space, how you move, how you speak. It allows you to approach not as a beggar seeking approval, but as someone genuinely curious, offering a moment of connection without heavy strings attached. It lets you be present, actually listen to her words, respond authentically, instead of frantically scanning for signs she likes you, or planning your next impressive thing to say. It allows you to be, relaxed, engaged, interesting, simply because you're not drowning in your own need. Does this mean rejection feels great? No, but it means it doesn't shatter your world. It becomes feedback, not a verdict on your entire being. You can walk away thinking, not a match, okay, instead of, I'm unlovable and destined to die alone. That resilience, that ability to bounce back without crumbling, is the ultimate antidote to desperation. It signals, quietly but powerfully, that you are a whole person, seeking another whole person, not someone looking for another person to complete you or validate your existence. How different would your next approach feel if that quiet confidence, that deep-seated knowledge of your own inherent worth, was your starting point? What small step could you take today to strengthen that foundation within yourself, long before you even think about crossing the room? So you've started building that internal foundation, that quiet knowing you're enough, just you, existing. It's not about becoming bulletproof, it's about becoming anchored. Now, how does that anchor translate into motion? How do you actually walk across that room or send that message without the old ghosts of scarcity rattling your bones? Imagine holding two magnets. Bring them close with the right poles facing, and they snap together, effortless, natural. Force the wrong poles, and you feel that resistance, that push, the approach, the connection. It's meant to feel more like the first A gentle pull, not a forced collision. But how? How do you become the right pole? It starts with shifting your focus away from the outcome and onto the interaction itself. Think of it like surfing. You don't paddle out obsessing about riding the perfect wave. You paddle out focused on reading the water, feeling the rhythm, positioning yourself. Then, when a wave rises, you're present, ready, not desperate, not forcing it. The wave might be perfect, it might fizzle, but your worth, your calm, remains intact. You enjoyed the ocean, you respected its power. You didn't need that specific wave to validate your surfing. That's the energy, outcome independence. It's not indifference, it's respect for the natural flow, including the possibility of a no. Let's weave in another concept, social penetration theory. Think of it like peeling an onion. Researchers Altman and Taylor showed meaningful connections develop gradually, layer by layer. You start with the outer layers, light, safe topics, shared context, the weather, the awful music at this party, that weird painting. Then, slowly, carefully, as mutual comfort builds, you reveal deeper layers, vulnerabilities, passions, fears. Desperacy tries to rip the onion open. It bypasses the outer layers entirely, oversharing intensely personal stuff, declaring deep feelings prematurely, clinging too hard, too fast. Why? Because the desperate person isn't really seeing her. They're projecting their need onto her. They mistake intensity for intimacy. They try to force depth, skipping the essential gradual dance of mutual disclosure. It feels invasive, overwhelming, like someone shouting their life story before you've even exchanged names. It screams, "I need this connection so badly. I'll give you everything now." Authentic connection, the kind that doesn't feel desperate, respects the layers. It's patient. It reads the signals. It matches the pace. It understands that true depth is earned slowly, mutually, through consistent, low-pressure interaction. It's the difference between throwing the whole onion at someone and offering a single, intriguing layer with a relaxed smile, letting them decide if they want to peel more.